The Pig Merchants are recording an album this September, and when that album's finished, we're going to be taking over half of all the profits and donating them to two charities. One is Springs of Africa, and the other one is Gift of Life. Now, my connection to the Gift of Life begins in about 5 years ago, on June 17th, 2007. My wife, Kate, was driving home and was in a car accident. And she was flown by helicopter to the Hershey Medical Center. She was there for 5 days, and on the 5th day, on Friday, she was pronounced dead. Now, Kate was a registered organ donor, so Gift of Life, being an organization that facilitates organ donation, they approached me and they sat down with me and they explained everything to me, answered questions, a very gentle and delicate way, which I greatly appreciated, because when you're in that kind of situation, you know, your life has changed. You feel like everything's been pulled out from underneath you. But they were very helpful. And we worked together, and we determined that Kate was able to give several gifts. The larger organ gifts being her kidneys and her pancreas. Now, another thing that the Gift of Life does is it facilitates communication between donors, or the surviving families of the donors, and the recipients of their gifts. And I'd always intended to write a letter to the recipients of Kate's gifts, but it took me about 4 years to do it. So last summer I wrote a letter to the two individuals who they had told me had received Kate's kidneys and pancreas, and one was a 19-year-old girl, and the other one was I think a 36-year-old man. And so I wrote the letter, sort of explaining a bit who I was, told them about Kate, who she was, and then I said to them that it's kind of amazing, this connection that they have to Kate, because through them, you know, Kate is sort of living on. You know, even though she's not here, there's a part of her that's still out there somewhere. And I did get a letter back from the gentleman whose name is Ray, and he told me a bit about himself and about his wife and about their dogs, and then as he was closing up the letter, he had asked me if Kate liked sweet things, and he said that the reason he was asking was because ever since his surgery, ever since he had received Kate's kidney and pancreas, he'd started to like whipped cream and things like that. And you know, when you remember someone who's died, you know, you have big memories and you have small memories. And a lot of the times when I think about Kate, I remember the big things, like the big parts of her personality, who she was, and things that we had done together. But one of the small memories I have of her is that, you know, every time we left the grocery store, we'd always have ice cream and toppings and things like that, because she loved them. She always liked to have that stuff, and so it was amazing to me that, you know, not only was there a part of Kate alive in someone else, but that a part of who Kate was, something more intangible, was also going on. Ray, in his letter, told me that he had been on dialysis for 9 months, I think it was 9 months, before he had his surgery, and I thought to myself, you know, how big a difference would that have represented to me if I would have been going through that, and I would have received that gift, and my life would have changed as a result. The thing about organ donation is that one person's gifts, organ and tissue gifts, can change the lives of up to 50 people. One person's gifts can save the lives of 8 people, depending on the gifts that they're able to give. And organ donation meets a medical need, or medical conditions for which we know the cure. There are diseases out there that we don't know the medicines to use. We don't know the treatments to prescribe. But for people waiting for organ donation, what they need is a healthy organ. And we have those. A lot of us are in a position to give those gifts. And 18 people a day die while they're waiting on the list, because those gifts aren't available. So if you haven't registered, definitely do so. Registering is very easy, and it can make a huge difference. And I know that for me, whether I die a year from now or whether I die 50 years from now, that I'm going to be able to make that difference, and that's important to me. Now, the part of the Gift of Life organization that the pig merchants are going to be giving money to is something called the Family House. Now, the Family House is relatively new. I think it's been around for about a year. What it does is it provides a place for recipients to stay. It's located in Philadelphia in proximity to, I think, 8 different transplant centers. So if you're receiving an organ and you have to go through surgery and you have to have follow-up procedures and you're far away from home and you have to stay there for days or weeks or longer, it's a place where you can stay. It's affordable, and it also provides unique services that you're not going to find if you need to check into a hotel or something like that. It's through Gift of Life, and it gives you an environment, a positive environment to be in. Now, donations to the Family House allows families to stay for less than they would normally have to pay, or even for free, depending on how much money is given. And also because the Family House runs primarily with volunteers, monetary gifts help the Family House stay open and run. So, like I said, when we're finished with our album, we're going to be donating money to Springs of Africa and also to Gift of Life, specifically to the Family House. If you'd like to give money to Gift of Life directly, you can go to their website, which is www.donors1.org. And if you would like to support our album, you can go to the website for a few more weeks, I think. Website Kickstarter.com, and you can look for the Pig Merchants, and you can give money to our album that way. And there's different rewards and perks that you get for different levels of support, anything from a copy of the album to, t-shirts and things like that. So thank you for listening. Thank you in advance for your support, and encourage you to check out both Springs of Africa and also Gift of Life, and see what ways you might be able to make a difference with those 2 organizations.